There is a voice inside your head, a voice that either builds you up or tears you down, a voice that whispers hope or fuels your doubts. And whether you realize it or not, that voice is shaping your life. For most people, that voice is their worst enemy. It tells them they're not good enough, that they're failing, that their dreams are impossible. And the worst part, they listen. They let that voice dictate their actions, their confidence, their entire destiny. But what if for just 3 days you took control of that voice? What if, instead of letting it feed your fears, you trained it to fuel your success? I challenge you for the next 3 days, talk to yourself differently. Speak to yourself like someone who is destined for greatness. Because the way you talk to yourself will determine the way you show up in the world. The voice inside your head is shaping your reality every single day, whether you realize it or not. It is the voice that determines your confidence, your actions, and ultimately your future. For most people, this voice is their biggest enemy. It constantly whispers self-doubt, fear, and negativity. It reminds them of past failures, convinces them they are not good enough, and keeps them stuck in a cycle of uncertainty. But here's the truth: you have complete control over that voice. You have the power to change it, to retrain it, and to turn it into your greatest weapon for success. The way you talk to yourself influences everything. It determines how you approach challenges, how you respond to setbacks, and how you show up in the world. When you speak negatively to yourself, you reinforce limiting beliefs. If you constantly say, "I'm not good enough," your mind believes it and will find ways to prove it true. If you tell yourself, "I always fail," your subconscious will work to make that your reality. But when you shift the way you speak to yourself, you shift the way you think. And when you shift the way you think, you shift your entire life. Every thought you think and every word you speak creates a blueprint for your actions. Negative self-talk creates hesitation, fear, and self-sabotage. It keeps you from taking risks, from pushing forward, and from reaching your full potential. But when you take control of your inner dialogue, everything changes. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," you replace it with, "I am capable of figuring this out." Instead of saying, "I'm not smart enough," you say, "I have everything I need to succeed." This isn't about lying to yourself. It's about training your mind to see possibilities instead of limitations. Just like a muscle, your brain strengthens the thoughts you repeat most often. If you constantly feed it doubt, it will grow weaker. If you feed it confidence, it will grow stronger. It all begins with awareness. Start paying attention to the way you talk to yourself. Notice the words you use, the thoughts that run through your mind, and the patterns that hold you back. Most people are completely unaware of the damaging words they repeat to themselves daily. They don't even realize that they are their own biggest critic. But once you become aware, you have the power to change. The key is to interrupt negative thoughts the moment they appear. The second your mind starts saying, "You're not good enough," you stop it in its tracks and replace it with, "I am more than enough." When fear creeps in and tells you this is too hard, you immediately respond with, "I am strong enough to handle this." At first, it might feel unnatural. You might not fully believe the words you are speaking. That's okay. The goal is to train your mind to reprogram your subconscious and to create a new internal dialogue that supports your growth. The more you do it, the more natural it becomes. Over time, your brain will begin to accept these new thoughts as truth. This is why successful people are so intentional with their self-talk. They don't allow doubt to control them. They don't entertain thoughts of failure. They don't speak to themselves in a way that weakens them. Instead, they speak power into their lives. They affirm their strength, their resilience, and their ability to succeed. And because of that, they take action with confidence. They face challenges head-on. They refuse to let fear stop them. If you want to transform your life, it starts with transforming the way you talk to yourself. Instead of being your biggest critic, become your biggest supporter. Speak to yourself with the same encouragement and belief that you would offer a close friend. Lift yourself up, empower yourself, and remind yourself every single day that you are capable of achieving extraordinary things. The moment you take control of your inner voice, you take control of your destiny. The way you start your day has a profound impact on how the rest of it unfolds. Most people wake up and immediately allow their thoughts to be controlled by external circumstances. They check their phones, scroll through social media, and react to the world before they have even set their own mindset. They begin their mornings with stress, anxiety, and a flood of negative thoughts about everything they need to do. or everything that could go wrong. And without even realizing it, they set themselves up for failure before the day has even begun. But what if you took control? What if, instead of allowing the outside world to dictate your mood, you programmed your mind with power the moment you wake up? The first words you speak to yourself in the morning are like commands to your subconscious mind. They set the tone for how you will think, feel, and act throughout the day. This is why successful people are intentional with their morning thoughts. They don't leave their mindset up to chance. They wake up and immediately affirm their strength, their purpose, and their ability to handle whatever comes their way. When you wake up, your brain is in a highly suggestible state. The thoughts you think during these first moments of the day sink deep into your subconscious and influence your mindset for the rest of the day. If your first thought is, I don't feel like getting up, or I'm so tired, or today is going to be stressful, then you're already programming yourself for a day of struggle. But if instead you wake up and say to yourself, I am strong, I am ready, today is going to be amazing, you set an entirely different tone. Your brain begins searching for ways to make that thought a reality. Instead of focusing on what could go wrong, it starts looking for opportunities, solutions, and moments of joy. This is not about pretending that life is always easy. It's about taking control of your focus. You can either let your thoughts be random and chaotic, or you can direct them with purpose. The moment you wake up, speak power into your life. Say, I am capable of handling anything that comes my way today. Say, I am filled with energy and purpose. Say, I am grateful for another day to become better. It might feel strange at first, especially if you are used to waking up and immediately thinking about problems. But the more you do it, the more natural it becomes. Your brain will begin to expect positive thoughts in the morning. It will start to create a habit of focusing on strength instead of struggle. Your words have energy. The way you speak to yourself has a direct impact on your emotions, your confidence, and your actions. If you start your day with empowering words, you carry that energy with you throughout the day. You make better decisions. You respond to challenges with resilience. You feel more in control of your life. On the other hand, if you start your day with negative or disempowering words, that energy follows you too. You feel sluggish, unmotivated, and overwhelmed. You react to problems instead of finding solutions. You carry a sense of heaviness that affects everything you do. That is why morning affirmations are so powerful. They are not just words, they are instructions to your mind. They tell your brain what to focus on, what to believe, and how to show up in the world. One of the best ways to make this a habit is to create a simple morning affirmation routine. Before you even get out of bed, take a deep breath and say a few powerful statements to yourself. Say, I am strong. I am capable. I am ready for this day. If you have specific goals, affirm them as if they are already happening. Say, I am becoming more successful every day, or I am attracting amazing opportunities. The key is to feel the words as you say them. Don't just repeat them mindlessly, say them with conviction. Imagine yourself stepping into the version of you that fully believes in these words. Let that feeling guide you into the day with purpose and confidence. The more you practice this, the more you will notice a shift in your energy, your mindset, and your results. Life is full of challenges, obstacles, and unexpected setbacks. Most people see these difficulties as proof that they are failing or that life is unfair. They complain about their struggles, dwell on their misfortunes, and allow adversity to dictate their mindset. They ask, why is this happening to me? And feel like victims of their circumstances. But the truth is, challenges are not here to stop you. They are here to shape you. Every struggle you face carries a lesson, an opportunity, and a chance to grow stronger. The problem is not the obstacle itself, it's the way you perceive it. Your perspective determines whether an obstacle defeats you or builds you into something greater. When you shift your mindset and start seeing every difficulty as a stepping stone instead of a roadblock, everything changes. Instead of looking at struggles with frustration, look at them with curiosity. Ask yourself, what is this teaching me? Every challenge holds a hidden lesson. Maybe it's teaching you patience, resilience, or problem solving. Maybe it's revealing a weakness that you need to strengthen. Maybe it's preparing you for something bigger that you can't yet see. But if you only focus on the frustration of the moment, you will miss the lesson. You will stay stuck in a cycle of resistance instead of moving forward with growth. The most successful people in the world are not the ones who never face difficulties. They are the ones who refuse to be defeated by them. They see every obstacle as an opportunity to rise higher. They understand that adversity is the training ground for greatness. If you want to become stronger, wiser, and more capable, you must be willing to embrace challenges rather than run from them. Reframing challenges starts with the way you talk to yourself in difficult moments. Instead of saying, "This is too hard," say, "This is making me stronger." Instead of saying, "I can't handle this," say, "I am learning how to overcome this." Instead of saying, "I always struggle," say, "Every challenge is shaping me into a better version of myself." Words are powerful. The way you speak to yourself in tough times determines whether you stay stuck or push through. The moment you reframe a challenge as an opportunity, you regain control. You stop seeing yourself as a victim and start acting like the person who is capable of overcoming anything. This shift in perspective does not mean you ignore difficulties or pretend that everything is easy. It means you choose to focus on solutions instead of problems. It means you acknowledge the struggle but refuse to let it define you. It means you decide that no matter what happens, you will find a way forward. When you approach challenges with this mindset, something incredible happens. You become unstoppable. You stop fearing obstacles because you know they are making you better. You stop doubting yourself because you have proof that you can handle anything. You develop a level of mental strength that carries you through any situation. The most powerful people in the world did not get there by avoiding challenges. They got there by facing them head-on, learning from them, and using them as fuel for growth. Every great success story is built on a foundation of struggles that were turned into stepping stones. The only difference between those who succeed and those who don't is how they respond to adversity. If you train yourself to see challenges as opportunities, you will no longer be controlled by fear. You will welcome difficulties because you know they are part of your journey to greatness. You will push forward with confidence, knowing that every obstacle is making you stronger. Fear is one of the biggest barriers that hold people back from reaching their true potential. It shows up in different ways: fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. It creates hesitation, doubt, and excuses that keep people from taking action. The mind begins to play tricks, whispering thoughts like, "I'm not ready," "What if I fail?" or "I don't think I'm good enough." And when these thoughts go unchecked, they become beliefs. Beliefs that dictate behavior, shape identity, and limit what is possible. But fear is not real in the way most people think it is. It is simply a projection of what could go wrong, a mental illusion that grows stronger the more it is fed. The truth is, fear only has power when it is believed. And the moment you decide to replace fear with certainty, everything shifts. Certainty is a choice. It is not something that magically appears when everything feels safe or when success is guaranteed. It is something that must be created from within. It starts with a decision to believe in yourself, despite the doubts, to take action despite the fear, and to trust that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. The key is to catch fearful thoughts the moment they arise and replace them with statements of certainty. When fear says, "I don't know if I can do this," respond with, "I am more than capable." When fear says, "What if I fail?" replace it with, "Every challenge is a stepping stone to success." The words spoken to oneself in moments of fear determine the outcome. Those who feed their fears stay stuck. Those who feed their belief move forward. The most successful people in the world are not fearless. They simply refuse to let fear dictate their choices. They feel fear just like everyone else, but instead of retreating, they lean into it. They understand that fear is a sign they are growing, stepping into something new, expanding beyond their comfort zone. And rather than running from it, they face it head-on with the mindset of certainty. They say to themselves, "I was made for this," even when they are unsure. They declare, "I will figure this out," even when the path is unclear. They choose to trust their ability to adapt, to learn, and to overcome no matter what happens. And because they make that choice, they achieve what others only dream of. Fear tricks people into believing they must wait until they feel confident before they take action. But confidence is not a requirement, it is a result. It is built through action, through stepping forward even when doubt is present. The first time something is attempted, it will likely feel uncomfortable. There will be uncertainty, hesitation, and a temptation to wait for the perfect moment. But perfection never comes. The only way to gain confidence is to do the thing that feels uncomfortable, to prove to the mind that fear was an illusion all along. Every time action is taken despite fear, the brain learns, it realizes that fear was never a real threat, that stepping forward did not lead to disaster, and that growth only happens on the other side of discomfort. Over time, this process rewires the mind to respond to fear differently, not as a signal to stop, but as a signal to push forward. People who achieve great things are not those who had no fear. They are those who refuse to let fear define them. They conditioned their minds to replace doubt with determination, hesitation with action, and fear with certainty. They trained themselves to speak power into their own lives, to remind themselves daily that they are capable of handling any challenge. And because they did, they stepped into opportunities, embraced risks, and created extraordinary success. The way a person talks to themselves in the presence of fear determines whether they stay where they are or rise to the next level. A winner's mindset is not something people are born with. It is something they develop through intentional effort. It is a way of thinking, acting, and carrying oneself that separates those who succeed from those who remain stuck. The way a person walks, talks, and behaves influences their confidence, their energy, and how the world responds to them. Every successful person operates from a place of certainty, power, and self-belief even before they have achieved their biggest goals. They understand that success is not just about talent or hard work. It is about stepping into the identity of a winner long before the results appear. The way someone sees themselves dictates how they move through life. If they see themselves as unsure, weak, or incapable, their actions will reflect that. If they see themselves as strong, confident, and capable, they will move accordingly. The body follows the mind, and the mind follows the words spoken to oneself daily. Winners do not wait to feel confident before they act first, and confidence follows. They wake up each day and speak to themselves in a way that reinforces strength. They say, "I am built for success. I am in control of my destiny, and I carry myself like a champion." This internal dialogue programs their subconscious to align their actions with their words. They walk with certainty, they speak with authority, and they approach challenges with the belief that they will overcome them. Even when they do not have all the answers, they trust themselves to figure things out. This energy is what sets them apart. It is what attracts opportunities, earns respect, and makes people take notice. The world responds to those who carry themselves with confidence. Most people do not struggle because they lack talent. They struggle because they do not fully step into the identity of someone who wins. They allow doubt, hesitation, and fear to control them. They shrink themselves, avoid taking risks, and second-guess their own abilities. But winners do the opposite. They decide who they are and embody that version of themselves every single day. They walk into every room with the energy of someone who belongs there. They speak their goals into existence, not as wishes, but as certainties. They do not just hope for success, they expect it. And because of that, they create it. Everything changes when a person starts to embody the identity of a winner. Their posture changes, they stand taller, move with purpose, and project confidence. Their voice changes, they speak with clarity, conviction, and certainty. Their actions change, they take bold steps, seize opportunities, and refuse to let fear dictate their choices. This shift in energy is what turns ordinary individuals into extraordinary achievers. The mind and body are deeply connected. When someone acts like a winner, their mind starts believing it, and when their mind believes it, they start achieving it. The way they see themselves becomes their reality. This is why successful people are deliberate about how they carry themselves. They understand that their energy influences their results. They do not wait for success to show up before they act like winners. They show up as winners first, and success follows. This is the mindset that turns dreams into reality. It is not about arrogance or pretending to be something one is not. It is about choosing to step into the best version of oneself every single day. Winners condition their minds to think powerfully, their bodies to move confidently, and their words to reflect certainty. They speak their success into existence before the world sees it. And because they do, the world eventually catches up and reflects that success back to them. The way you end your day is just as important as the way you start it. Most people go to bed with their minds filled with stress, worry, and self-doubt. They replay everything that went wrong, criticize themselves for what they didn't accomplish, and let their minds spiral into negativity. They carry the weight of their struggles into their sleep. And as a result, they wake up feeling drained, unmotivated, and stuck in the same cycle of frustration. But what if instead of focusing on what went wrong, you ended your day by reinforcing everything that went right? What if you trained your mind to see progress instead of problems, growth instead of failure, and potential instead of limitations? The thoughts you feed your mind before you sleep shape your subconscious. They determine the quality of your rest, your energy for the next day, and ultimately, your long-term success. Winners do not go to bed criticizing themselves. They go to bed celebrating their small victories, acknowledging their growth, and setting powerful intentions for the next day. They understand that every single day is a step forward, no matter how small. They focus on what they accomplished, not what they lack. They remind themselves, I am getting better every day. I am proud of my progress, and tomorrow, I will rise even stronger. This mindset does not just create better sleep, it creates a better life. When you end your day on a note of gratitude and confidence, you program your mind to wake up with the same energy. Your subconscious mind processes information while you sleep. If you go to bed dead thinking about failure, you wake up feeling defeated. But if you go to bed reinforcing your strengths, you wake up feeling empowered. The key is to be intentional. Instead of letting your thoughts drift into negativity, direct them toward growth. Reflect on the lessons learned, acknowledge your resilience, and visualize your success. Winners practice this every night. They don't let the day's setbacks define them. They choose to see the bigger picture. They remind themselves that one difficult moment does not erase all progress. They understand that consistency is more important than perfection. One of the most powerful habits is to speak affirmations to yourself before you sleep. Say, I am proud of how far I've come. I am capable of handling any challenge, and I am becoming the best version of myself. These words sink deep into your subconscious, reinforcing a mindset of strength and resilience. Over time, this practice rewires your brain. It eliminates self-doubt, builds confidence, and strengthens your belief in yourself. The more you do this, the more natural it becomes. The way you talk to yourself at night determines how you show up the next day. If you focus on growth, you wake up with motivation. If you focus on failure, you wake up with hesitation. This is why successful people take control of their nighttime routine. They do not leave their mindset up to chance. They end each day with purpose, knowing that the thoughts they carry into sleep will shape the reality they wake up to. They treat each night as a reset, a chance to reflect, realign, and prepare for greater things ahead. They know that success is built one day at a time, one thought at a time, and one decision at a time.